Jesus reminded us in Matthew 7 to judge not, lest you be judged. This is a call for humility and self-reflection before we condemn others. As a pastor's kid, I can attest to two sides of the coin of being in the church and then also understanding that there's a moral code with the generation before me. And what I'm trying to say is that in churches today, even though we don't want to admit to it, there's a narcissistic skew that has crept in to the body of Christ, such as the good old boy syndrome. And that's the basis that we live by a moral code. But we certainly don't speak about our own shame, our own shortcomings, even though there might be a shady past filled with multiple breaches of our own moral code. Nowadays, what you hear is churches telling people to leave because they don't fit in, because they've had a child out of wedlock, or they were addicted, or they might have had some type of crime they've committed that was in their past, but they speak about it openly. And so churches are turning these individuals away, which is unfortunate. And when you have the cowboy up attitude and the good old boy syndrome together and a narcissist in the room that's the pastor, it's definitely unfortunate for the congregation. And I've seen this more so than I'd like to admit. It's an infection in the body of Christ, where we're supposed to pull our boots up and act like a man. The tough approach, the sarcastic approach, the hurtful approach, the narcissistic and manipulative approach that is chasing people away from a relationship with Christ, and or to seek deliverance, which should be readily available in the body of Christ. And we should all have an understanding of love and compassion and humility. But instead, we receive rejection, criticism, sarcasm, narcissistic and toxic behaviors, which are not okay. Or in John 8, to let him who is without sin cast the first stone. And then again in Matthew 23, woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites. Jesus was shutting down the individuals that had the law memorized. They were legalistic. They had an oppressive spirit. They didn't want other people in their church organizations that had a spotted past, that had a history, that had unrepented sin that they called current sin in their surroundings. They wanted people that were spotless. But when it's a legalistic mindset, it chases people away because people are getting the message that they're better than them, that they have not done anything wrong. And therefore it creates havoc and causes people to leave the body of Christ. Instead of walking them through and loving them, they cast a shadow of hurtful words and hurtful messages and pointing fingers. When Jesus said, woe to you, teachers of the law, Pharisees, and you hypocrites, he said, you shut the door of the kingdom of heaven in people's faces. You yourselves don't even enter there. And you won't let those who want to come in, they don't ever get to come in. They're not part because you're judging them before they get in the door. Whatever happened to justice, mercy, and faith? Hypocrisy has no place in deliverance, nor can we neglect others if we're trying to instill in people to have an open, honest relationship with the Almighty and with Jesus, asking him to help us, asking him to walk with us. His example was to help people and to lift them up, to raise their eyes off of the ground, and to not grovel for the mercy and tenderness of a loving Father.